So I made a video before about like there's like this big thing about the Epstein list, right? And the reason, number one, that they haven't released it is because of the fucking demons and devils and powers that be don't want to be caught. But if you remember back during like when COVID was popping off, okay, Oprah, Ellen, they were all on ankle monitors. They were all under house arrest. Um, Ellen made a video about Smart, which is some sex trafficking organization that and she was like telling people something like she was speaking in code basically. And if you remember too about the Hawaii fires, they painted everything blue and only certain areas fucking, excuse my language, I just pulled a scab off my leg, gross. But anyway, um it's funny how dry skin, when it's healing, right, it itches, or if you have a boo-boo, like the healing part hurts more. But anyway, so that was an experiment, number one, to so the rich people could protect their property. But because the land belonged to the indigenous people, they were, and people who would not sell their homes to these powers that be, was like, okay, we'll just burn you out, and then you have to either sell or move because your houses are destroyed. That's why the water sprinkler system didn't work and the alarm bells didn't work. They literally didn't care who they fucking killed or who lost what. That's why certain celebrities lost their homes. I believe like Miley Cyrus and Paris Hilton, I think, lost their homes, but like other people did not. And it's because of who is a part of the fucking good old boy cults and covens and who's not. So so a while back, so like, and then Twitch, right? Twitch was Ellen's little dancing sidekick for her show. But Twitch would have never killed himself. Never, ever, 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 ever. He loved his kids too much. He was the happiest mother trucker alive. Like, literally. He loved his kids and he loved life. He was, like, literally the happiest dude. But because he was so close to Ellen, he saw some shit. He knew some shit. So he was a liability to these people. Not to mention his wife, just as soon as he died, don't you know, she's all of a sudden on this dance show. So she was a part of it. They sacrificed him to rise up so she can get this job and she could be a hoe and not stuck being a housewife at home raising his kids anymore. And she got life insurance money and a promotion in the ranks of this cult and coven. And so then Ellen used to be with Anne Hesh, and if you remember Anne Hesh, there was like a big weird thing where supposedly she had went and bought a wig and she was like fearfully running for her life, and somebody drugged her. Like, one minute she was fine, the next minute she's like slumped over in the car. Then all of a sudden her car by itself, because again, these smart cars, these electronical systems can be remote controlled, so they got her car doing 100 down like a dead end street, smashed right into a house, bro. Smashed right into a house. And again, so she's trapped in this burning car for 45 minutes. I don't know if you know how fire works or skin works. Like, if you even have like a 1 second you touch fire, that literally you're, again, especially leather seats in a car, even upholstery, it's going to sear to your skin, right? So and then this is another weird thing. So again, there was firefighters that were there, but the firefighters had, when they finally got her body out, put her on a stretcher and was stretching her away. But and there was a sheet that covered her body. Okay, well, she sat straight up. Not one part of her was burned. Okay, and again, firefighters don't push stretchers. Paramedics do. But there was no ambulance. Like, there was an ambulance, but there was no paramedics. There was just firemen. So super strange. And again, she wasn't burned. Why wasn't she burned? So, and I pray that they just moved her into witness protection or something like that, but I doubt it. I bet that, again, she was zombified, necromancy, something. It had to do with this cult or covens because, again, Ellen, she knew too much. So then there's, so Dave Grohl, right, from the Foo Fighters, he used to be in Nirvana. Him and Courtney were in on sacrificing Kurt Cobain. And again, the reason that they couldn't tie Courtney to it was because Courtney wasn't there. She was somewhere else. But Dave Grohl who was just a drummer and a nobody at the time, even though it was such a big band. Like, he was nobody compared to Kurt. Like, the bandmates were irrelevant, kind of. And again, and this is why the bandmates even hated him, because again, Kurt Cobain was like just a laid back kind of dude. He wasn't like into dressing a certain way. He wasn't into the millions and billions of dollars. He wasn't into like the party and the fans and these cults and covens that they wanted him to be a part of. And so they sacrificed him. And the reason they did this too is because the lipstick on the glass, there was two glasses, is because Dave Grohl was embodied, made to look like a woman by these magic people, or cults or covens, the witches and warlocks, and that's how they got away with it. It was for life insurance. And so then, if you remember, then Courtney Love suddenly blew up, and she was successful into music and then movies for a minute. She was also a smut star. Everybody forgets about that. But until they tried to paint her crazy because she didn't cooperate somehow or whatever. But then she like fell off the map too because she was a liability. She knew too much, so they have to paint her as crazy. So then there Tom Hanks, piece of you think he's a good dude, but sacrificed his son. Same thing with John Travolta. Super on the down low gay guys. And again, no disrespect to gay people. I'm just saying what it is. Their wives are beards, and they're parts of this demonic cults and covens. And so there was this guy, Isaac Cappy, who was in the Fast and the Furious movies, and a lot of people don't know who he is. But again, he tried to tell people. He was like, first of all, I'm not suicidal in any way. But again, there was the shit happened where, again, when you get to a certain rank in Hollywood, they take you to these parties. And again, isn't it funny that Puff Daddy bought a house next door to the Playboy Mansion? But again, there's these tunnels underground. And so, and again, if you remember, like, the little Madeline girl that got kidnapped or sacrificed, whatever, her parents left her. That shit was all a part of this sacrificial sex trafficking. They sold their kid for money. Same with the thing with JonBenet Ramsey. They sacrificed their daughter because her brother killed her, and her parents sacrificed it and covered it up. But also they said that Katy Perry was JonBenet Ramsey. And then if you remember America's Got Talent, there was a girl that came on that talked like this, that looked just like Katy Perry, sounded like Katy Perry, because she was Katy Perry. Because again, they can make you split into different vessels. But anyway, back to Isaac Cappy, he like said like Tom Hanks was trying to kill him. Even Tom Hanks was like posting shit on Twitter or something, like, or Instagram about there's red gloves and red shoes, and he did this on like Highway 66, like basically saying like he put a hit out on him, okay? And so Paris Jackson and Ariana Grande, they were like parts of this shit. They were like covering up the sex trafficking shit, and they were handlers. They're like, she got her break. And then that little girl, because she used to have that show, like Kat and Liz, I think it was. But the other little girl, the blonde-haired girl, her mom, like, pimped her out or tried to do this weird stuff. And again, they have, like, these pool parties, and the ones with the skimpy bathing suits that want to go play charades. Like, why are you 9 years old going to play charades at Tom Hanks' house alone? Why was Justin Bieber 9 to 12 years old going to spend a weekend at Puffy camp? Same thing with Usher. Usher said a lot of things, which again, I was raped on stage at a fucking Usher concert, and they filmed it. Like, 1 million people watched it. They had it behind a screen, and they had it look like he was a demonic goat god or something. And again, it wasn't him himself, and I was drugged and out of my mind. But again, it was part of the concert, and it's all sick, and it's all live and recorded for millions to see it. But anyway, Isaac Cappy tried to go because he thought Paris Jackson was his friend, and he showed up at her house, and he's like, yo, they're trying to kill me, and she called the fucking cops on him. And he's like talking about these kids in cages underneath in these tunnels, and he's like asking for help, and he's crying, and he's like, they're trying to kill me, they drug you, they poison you, they do all these things to paint you crazy. But again, he's telling the truth. And because just like Epstein had Ghislaine Maxwell, Paris Jackson and Ariana Grande are the fucking handlers. Same thing with that Amber Heard bitch with Ellen, and there's another little model chick that is part of it. what's her name there, the fucking Blake Lively, like she's all, that's why she said whatever, she has a band of dragons, because again, you have to understand, or Tila Tequila, they painted for crazy, and she's like, I fucked the Dragon King. She did, you don't understand, she did, these are real life actual things. And so again, Dave Grohl has a song like something about hero, being your heroes, and how it will break your heart or something, or they can let you down. Fuck you for that song, by the way, because again, Kurt didn't let you down. You fucking murdered him, first of all. Second of all, the Foo Fighters then like blew up overnight, and they did the whole Mentos things and everything, and you think that you won. Or like, I was taken to an embassy and met like Hillary Clinton, and was like, she wanted, again, to be recruited to part of this cults and covens and shit, and they want you to be a part of this weird sex thing, and this murder, it's like murder, marriage, and mayhem. So, but again, fuck you all, and her whole like, there's like the green whatever company they own, and they found like dead bodies all filled in these shipping containers, and just like that boat that drove into that bridge, that shit was all a distraction in part to cover up this human trafficking shit. Okay, like the 180,000 kids that wore color-coded bands bracelets that were in the government, like armies, guardianship. Like, how do you lose them? Why were there color-coded bracelets? Because that's how much they were valued, and who bought them, and what families owe money to it. So again, you have to understand these deeper things. Like Michael Jackson, like again, he didn't want to be a part of this. First of all, you have to understand Michael Jackson, they castrated him, like medically and physically, so he was never going to age. That's how he kept such a high voice. And again, if you understand how they removed consciousness, essentially Michael's body grew, but his mind didn't, and soul didn't, because he never did age. Because again, if you understand how they make the fathers the hearts of the fathers the sons. Same thing like Aretha Franklin. If you understood what was done to her, or by her father, and what like Martin Luther King was a part of, or Malcolm X, and again at the end of his life, he tried to change, he tried to turn it around, and they killed him, but he didn't die. He just got put into a different body, and he's still a president of the Islamic Temple. And Jason Momoa, he's a piece of shit too. Again, he did weird shit with his daughter, and again, he's part of this lizard reptilian organization, and I know that too, because again, I was part of a fake wedding to keep the inheritance, to transfer it, and then you see he did this weird lizard dance on the red carpet, and again, they at the time too, they're saying that they like were tricking me and saying that this part of this dance at the wedding and at the red carpet was to keep demons away, but it wasn't. It's like a show to antagonize the angels, to antagonize God, to like put on a show. That's why they're like again, it's not a good thing. And again, the Leviathan, the lizard, the snake, the serpent that made Adam and Eve fall, this is all very much real. They're very much alive. You can see it in their fucking eyes. And again, the NSA is all a part of this shit. They got people but God's coming for the ass, bro. God's coming for the ass. You fool no one and nothing. And again, it really grinds their gears that I'm like here talking shit about them, because again, it takes one person to undo all the lies that they told. It takes one person to understand and let everybody know that at any time you can say no. Doesn't matter what blood contract you signed, what ink contract you signed, anytime you can say no. Say, God, I fucked up and I need you, because I can't get out of this alone. And he will hear you. He will come and he will take you out. And you will have to face consequences. You will have to face judgment. But he doesn't want the bad things for you. Even the devil can at any time say, God, I'm sorry, I fucked up. But he'll have to face consequences. But again, everybody can be saved, no matter what the darkness they were a part of or witnessed. But the point is to repent all day, every day, and mean it wholeheartedly.